Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the April 24th Millis School Committee meeting. Tonight's meeting is being recorded and can be viewed on Mondays at 7 on Comcast Channel 8 or Verizon Channel 37. All meeting videos are also posted to the Millis Public Schools website under School Committee section. To kick the meeting off, we'll do a roll call. Ms. Soule.
Present.
Mr. Catalano.
Present.
Superintendent.
Present.
Mr. Conroy is present. He just had to step out for a minute. Student representative.
Present.
Teacher representative.
Present.
Thank you. We have some very important guests here this evening, so we're going to go a little bit out of order and let them go first. Superintendent, I will hand it over to you to introduce.
And I would like to introduce some students and teachers from the Clyde Brown Elementary School who are here today. I'm not sure who's queued up first, but you can come on up. Mr. Phelps. Okay, Mr. Phelps, the principal, is going to do the intro and speak about some of the ways that we have been working on personalizing education at Clyde Brown.
So I'm so pleased our students are here tonight to show you what we've been doing, what we've been working on. This has been a really exciting year for us. We've done a lot of new and interesting things. We have our students from our 3-4 Personalized Learning Lab classroom here to present tonight. We have some grade 4 students who are here to tell about passion projects and how they use differentiation in math to kind of stretch themselves a little bit further. We have third graders, fourth graders, and I'd like to begin with just a clip from some second graders. They weren't able to be here because it's their bedtime, but I promised them that I would begin by sharing some of what they're doing. So these are students from Mrs. Lang's class. She wanted you all to know that the first clip that we're going to see is the skill was presentation skills. And the activity that they chose to demonstrate what they knew was from choosing a book to read to the class and developing questions. And they did this using the app Book Creator.
First, I went home and picked out a book, and I used it, and I practiced expressing my voice and showing pictures to the class and showing questions. And then I came back to my classroom and read the story to the class.
So in this project, Mrs. Lang tried to put a couple of different features into place. She tried to practice reading fluency as students pick their own books, and selected questions, comprehension style to read to the class. But another feature that she so nicely added was the use of Book Creator and also having students film one another. So I'll play you just a very brief part of the student's presentation. So there were lots of different things they were looking at when they were talking about skill mastery, among them being a good observer and a good capturer of learning.
A Friendship Story by Selena Young. One day, Penguin brought a curious object. What's this? It was too brown to be a snowball. Crunch. Too hard to be food. Ow! And too prickly to be an egg. Brr! Whatever you are, you're cold. Penguin got busy. Knit one, curl one. Brr!
So again, some of the things that they were working on in presentation strategies were varying their tone of voice, using descriptive voice in their reading out loud. I'll just show you one more.
Today I'm going to read The Princess and the Penguin by Kate Beaton. on the phone. In the Kingdom of Warriors, the smallest warrior was Princess Pinecone. She was very excited for her birthday. Most warriors get fantastic birthday presents. Shields, amulets, helmets with horns on them, things for battles with. Things that make them feel like champions. Princess Pinecone got a lot of Christmas flowers. Warriors do not need Chloe's letters.
So I think you can see these students have nailed it. They have the inflection down. They have the ability to read descriptively, to vary their tone. And they did a really nice job with this. The other thing that Mrs. Lang wanted me to share with you tonight was a really cool feature that they're using where they are actually, they found a website that follows decor eagles. And they use it for science and writing. They were working on the standard animals in their environment in science, and they used this website as a jumping off point for observing animals in their natural environment and then writing about it as they studied expository writing. There's going to be an ad that plays, so I apologize for that. Oh no. So this is live feed. The students have the ability to log on and check out what's going on this website. I was actually kind of preparing right before I came over, and I saw the mother eagle actually feeding her babies. It was amazing. It's pretty amazing. So the point here is that even at the very youngest of grades, we're finding ways to use technology in ways that make sense in learning and make sense for kids as they kind of navigate the world and learn new information. So next up, I'd like to invite Mrs. Hernandez and her students. They're going to do some presentations for you to tell you what's going on in the Personalized Learning Lab classroom, how they're using technology, projects, and differentiated kinds of learning to accomplish that learning task.
Thanks, Jason.
You folks have an order that you're going in?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Watch the cord, guys.
There's some.
As they're setting up, I think it's important to point out that this classroom of students, this was a pilot this year. We wanted to see what happens when we provide Chromebooks to use as part of technology. And I am just amazed when I go in how self-sufficient, how independent these students are as learners. They're navigating this in ways I certainly couldn't keep up with.
I think we can use these students, Mr. Phelps, to help some adults.
Hi, I'm Nick Roy, and in our class we use technology, and it's we use voice and choice projects, Kahoot, and Google Apps. We learned that when we use voice and choice, it uses all school subjects, and today we have some
samples of voice and choice. First, we're going to have Olivia, Liam, and myself doing an Arctic Animals Google slide. Then it's going to be Simone doing a stop motion project. And then last but not least, Owen and Brayden will be doing a Millis history Kahoot.
Excellent.
Sounds amazing.
Arctic Animals by me, Olivia Gordon, Liam Berube, and Nicholas Roy.
The Arctic Fox. The Arctic fox, also known as the white fox, is a tiny fox native to the Arctic regions of the northern hemisphere and common in the Arctic tundra.
Like animation.
Polar bear. Did you know that the polar bear is actually black? Their fur is white, but their skin is black.
The penguin. Did you know that most penguins live in the southern hemisphere?
They're black and white.
Also, did you know that the Galapagos penguin is the only species of penguin that ventures north of the equator in the wild?
Did not know that.
And cute all over. Penguins.
Nick!
Do you need to go back a little bit? Because we can totally do that. You want to go back one?
No.
Do you have more? Okay.
Nice job.
That's fantastic. Great job.
That's really
I can just navigate all around everything. You might not think it's a very big deal, but we think it's a really big deal.
Yes.
It's very impressive that you just did what you did. Logging in, coming out, logging in, going to an app. It's very impressive.
Thank you.
I swore yet.
I made a stop motion slideshow to share with all of you tonight. It's with Lego minifigures and a camera and some scenes in the back. I hope you enjoy it.
We will.
I love it.
Come on, really?
Now it's time for a little quiz I have.
Oh no.
Don't worry, it's just 5 questions.
Okay. 5 questions? Ooh. Oh.
A.
Yes, I vote A.
A.
with Miss Soul. Ah.
Who got the right answer?
Good job, Jen.
Good job, Jen.
Coming up big on your
I
last
pay
meeting.
attention.
The robber, B.
Can't see.
Actually, the person who said it
Always complaining.
Ripta.
This is a kind of easy one.
B.
B.
Thank you.
Yeah. You might have to.
All of the above.
Oh, they're different.
B.
Thank you for the help.
B.
What slide is this?
Oh.
Just take a wild guess.
13.
Can you?
Go. Say it louder, Mark.
I was going to guess.
I guess.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
That was fun.
Oh, yes.
Count the slides and names.
You really have to pay attention.
I know. I'm taking notes on your presentation for the quiz afterwards.
Is there a quiz on this list?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
It's okay.
Take your time. It's fine.
Take your time.
Do you need help? Where do you need help from?
Oh, phone a friend.
I love it.
That's right.
They're all one big team.
There you go.
That was so fast, I didn't see how they fixed it.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Who knows that's right?
And now can take out your phones if you want to.
You can.
Do we have to have the app?
Kahoot.it.
Search Kahoot.com and then Kahootit.com
Kahoot.com.
and then you type in the game pin and enter your name.
You have to slow down. We're not you.
You guys are way faster than we
Not
are.
you.
Kahoot. This is the boomer.
Full screen.
Kahoot it.
Oh boy, how do I find the game?
Okay, I got it.
Oh, I'm in the wrong.
So what do we have to add? The
Kahoot,
game pin?
Kahoot.it. Yep, and then the pin. All right. Oh, thanks for making it big so we can read it.
788.
Enter.
78821.
Oh, nickname.
Nickname.
Uh-oh. I'll give you my...
Haunting cat.
I'll just make it boring. Okay, go.
There you go.
Well, there's a lot of people in.
Alright,
Love
does
this.
anyone else?
Everyone's doing.
Coming in, Conroy?
Oh, here we go. Come on, Mr. Conroy.
He's coming.
Kahoot.it.
788-2161.
It's numbers. 28 players.
29.
29. Mark Conroy, he's in. 29 players. Good job, everybody.
All right, I'm gonna start now. You can join. I'm right in the game too.
Okay.
Train's leaving the station, Mark.
He's in. He's
Got
in.
relax over there.
He's in. Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
What is this building called?
Oh, I know. Yes. Yes. Oh, boy.
Oh, so you're judged by time, too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Oh.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
Who is it?
I'm not telling you. I know the answer.
I guess.
I think
I guessed fast.
What'd you guess?
We'll see.
Steven.
You're wrong.
I can't believe you wouldn't help me.
Lansing.
That's a great
Mills.
name.
Oh, come on.
Who's haunting cow? Who is haunting cow?
Who's haunting cow? Please present yourself, haunting cow. Oh, Beckett Subtle. Excellent. Oh, Olivia Gordon did a good job. She was the highest climber.
Did Millis or
Oh, boy.
Oh.
When did Millis tell us? He studied the Millis book of Egypt.
Jeepers. No idea.
Oh, no. I want to take that.
I said the wrong answer.
It took too long.
I've seen it.
Oh, did you get
right,
it?
though. I
Good
got it
job,
right.
MC.
You should really study your Millis history.
MC, look at you got it fast too. Mrs. K is up 13 places. Mrs. K.
so that's first. Yep. So there's scoreboard next.
Oh,
Oh, I got this.
I know this.
Bring it on. Can't pretend he's...
Oh, good.
I hit that really fast. Come on. How can I not
So
get on the
who
leaderboard?
is in first?
Oh.
Who's MC?
This?
Who is M? Oh.
Exactly.
He figured out how to
He's
sign
gonna
it.
rap for us later.
Is that you?
Yeah. MC rapper over
Hammer.
here.
Can you explain how this works? Do you get points for the quicker you answer the end? Like
Yeah,
the
whoever answers
Now you
first
tell us.
gets like the most
quicker- most
points.
points.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And like, how often would you use Kahoot in your classroom?
We use it often. Most on Fridays.
On Friday?
We mostly use it to like study.
Yeah. Like we make them and then we can play them on Friday.
Oh, fun.
And do you make them based on things you're learning in the class?
Yeah, like
through the
for
week?
example, spelling and vocabulary.
Yeah, I like that.
Good idea.
All right, next one. We just knew this.
Did we just do this one?
Oh gosh, mine just timed out. Come on.
Oh, my phone locked up.
Mine did too.
Ow.
Oh, I got that one wrong. That was the only one I got wrong.
So, and
And our results, Tim F.
Wow.
Do you have any more
Nice.
Do you have any more games? I want a second
was
shot at.
fun.
Come on.
thank you for playing, everybody.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Thank you.
I like that.
That's a good idea.
I would make it.
Leave. I wanna leave.
Okay.
I wanna leave. And I wanna leave.
Right. Oh, it'd be fun to get them to be interactive and get them paying attention.
Is that mine?
Yeah. Was it good the whole time? Nice job.
I can't guarantee you I'm going to be as fast.
Oh, sorry. I thought I got you.
This is the boy I shadowed. He's phenomenal. Trying to think of his name. That was so fun.
We're going to scooch ahead a little bit and have Mrs. Colcord's student, Nolan Kilman, tell us about his $1 million project. Come on down. Need to disconnect.
While they're setting up, I'd like to say I had the pleasure on our Shadow a Student Day. I shadowed Nolan and had a fabulous time in 4th grade and was very impressed with how the students were phenomenal, first of all, very creative, innovative. The whole class was so engaged in what they were doing, and the teachers had done a phenomenal job of and they didn't do it because they didn't know which day I'd be shadowing a student. They just operate like this all the time, but they had several levels of everything going and stations and students definitely getting the support they needed and the challenge they needed.
So does that happen once a year? How often does the shadow a student
No,
have?
actually, we did it. This is the first time we've done it. So each of the administrators shadowed a student at different levels, and we'll probably do it again. It was really a wonderful day, and Nolan was a fabulous host.
Thank you. So I'm Nolan Kilman, and this was a while ago in the year, probably like February, January maybe. I did the $1 million project, and the basis of the project is basically you have $1 million, and you have to try to spend it all, and you have certain requirements to go through, and I chose to present it using a Google site, like this one. So the requirements here are you're required to buy a college education, a home under $300,000, a family vacation. Well, it has to be more than a person, meaning family, and a car, and you have to donate to a charity too. And so to that, my apartment I chose for $300,000. It was $298,000 for 715 square feet. Wow. And it's in San Francisco.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah. So I made a little slideshow down here to show. It's nothing much, just it's 715 square feet. So the next one, I went to Dartmouth University for the and it cost $227,000 to go to Dartmouth. Wow. That's a lot. So I've always wanted to go to London, so I chose London for my vacation, and for 3 I chose, just 2 kids. And my flight alone cost $3,939. It's a lot. The hotel, surprisingly, only $579. It's pretty good. Subway ticket for only $8. Wow. And just $600 for spending around the city, sort of thing. And then this epic Tesla.
What did that cost? $69,000.
And it was $69,200. And right after I did this, right when I did this was right after Hurricane Harvey. So I decided Hurricane Harvey, I should donate to it, and I donated $1,000 since I have $1 million, and $1,000 not that much for it. I also organized all the everything I spent in a spreadsheet here. You can see the first one is Dartmouth. It cost $277,000, and the money remaining was $722,000. And then there's I bought a lot. Let's just say.
What was your favorite purchase?
I have to say, hold up. Is this right here the Nicolas Cage?
Tell us more, Nolan.
It's I was just at one point I just decided I needed to spend more money, so I went on Amazon and it
Do you know Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage?
Cage.
Do you know who he is?
yeah, he's in. I watch national. I've watched like National Treasure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Good for you.
so I've also
City
I went
Pilot.
on a lot of vacation. I went to Cairo. After London was my required one, so I did Cairo, and then I did Sydney, LA. I went to Hamilton in LA actually. Istanbul for some reason. Punta Cana, Buenos Aires, and Martha's Vineyard because it's cheap apparently.
Not so much.
And then so I also bought a few stuff just for my preference. There's this cool website I like to use called vat19.com, and they have like weird sort of silly things. So they have a 26-pound gummy bear for $150. Wow. It's a lot for gummy. And so I also, since you saw in the slide, my bathroom was pretty ugly, so I renovated it because it was ugly and I have $1 million. So the renovation cost $9,000, but I painted the bedroom and it only cost $10,000. Wow, that's awesome.
So Nolan, can I ask you a question? Doing this project, what do you think, what was the value in it?
Well, first of all, you had to do the math for like subtracting to find out how much money you actually had. You had to actually find, like, you couldn't just say, oh, I'm buying a Tesla and make up a price for it. You actually had to go to Tesla and find out the price. It also teaches you some of the value of money and how a paint for $10 is a lot more relief than a Tesla or a college, maybe. It also, looking for houses also, like San Francisco was on the very high end, most expensive city in the country, I think. But, like, I looked for some places, I think I looked in, like, Texas, and I didn't end up choosing it, but it was super cheap in Texas. Yeah, so I also bought, just to wrap it up, I bought this little house in Hyannis. Not the best thing. It's pretty cute.
Good investment property, spending wisely.
He can flip it.
I also renovated the kitchen because, well, this was on like Realtor.com, I think. I did all this, and the inside pictures were like super. It was bad, so it cost $13,000 to renovate the kitchen. And, so yeah, that's the points of the $1 million project,
Great.
all the stuff that I did. Some of it necessary, some of it unnecessary. And other than this, I've worked on a few other projects. There's the candy store project, which is basically, it uses area and perimeter and graphing stuff to build a candy store. I also did, there's this holiday finance project where you're a financial planner for a holiday character, and you have to like do retirement savings and stuff. And right now,
You guys write your own books and you code.
yeah, we
those are
code in tech class, and
Create
yeah, actually, my teacher has instead of when we were doing a lot of writing, instead of doing the writing lessons, I was doing my own story for the thing, and I got 2 stories in one time. It was pretty fun. Right now I'm working on, since we're reading Number the Stars, Number the Stars, I'm doing a little background project I'm doing a project to give some background information about World War II and all the stuff that was going on around World War II outside of the Number the Stars thing. Yeah. So that was my $1 million
Excellent.
project.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Nice job, buddy.
Ask him the name of any president, who his wife was, what his kid's name, where he grew up. He's known that since he was very amazing.
And right now I'd like to invite up 2 4th graders who are going to tell us about some passion projects they've been working on. Patrick Halloran and Aaron Parikh. If you guys want to come on up.
So for my project-based learning, I chose to use robots. And every Thursday morning, we get to go to the tech lab, and we get to work on the projects that we chose. My first project was about volcanic eruptions, so I can show you that video. And I blew up a volcano using baking powder, or baking soda and vinegar. Yeah, that was that. I'll keep it playing.
Go some more.
Oh, yeah, that was the volcano project I did. Right now I'm using Sphero. It's a robot, and it works kind of like a hamster in a ball. Like there's wheels, and then it's just a plastic ball, and whenever the wheels roll, this rolls with it. And I used an iPad to code it and like manually drive it. I'm in the teacher's lounge in Clyde Brown. I put tape on the floor and I made it so it would drive the tape, like drive on the line of tape. And there's like an activity that I was talking about with Miss Grancelli. And there's like this activity that we were going to show to like the kindergartners or the first graders where like you would toss Sphero to another person and it made like an animal noise. And then they would try to guess what the animal noise would do, like what it was. And I'm working on a slideshow that I would show my classmates when I'm done. And I use math and science while working with the robot to make it turn out like a certain degrees and drive at certain speeds. And I need to grab my iPad so I can demonstrate. And so, like, I can drive it right now.
Sphero detected. Initializing connection.
And then, it looks like this, and like, you drive it like at certain speeds. It goes from turtle to rabbit on the speed. And like, I can drive it different places. It needs to be calibrated, so the blue dot would like point to where you are, and so it would like, instead if I went forward, it wouldn't go that way, it would go forward like where I'm standing. And then right here's this button. If you click that, it makes it so like it's where the iPad tilts, it goes. And then I also made a project, or I made a program, and like you have to you would take a movement block, and like there's 3 circles, and one of them shows the angle at which it would turn, and like 0 is straight ahead, so I did that, and then the speed, it goes from 0 to 255, and I put that somewhere around like 60 or 65, and then you have to put it for how long you want it to go in that direction, so I put 2 seconds, and then I did another one, so it faces the opposite of the 0, which is 180 degrees, so it would go backwards for around the same speed. And then I picked 2 seconds again, and you can't really see it from back there, but like, I think I need to connect it first. This will connect it. There, I'll connect it. And then it's like calibrated there. And then like it will go back and a little forward and then backwards. And like it tells you here like the location of it in centimeters of where it traveled. And yeah, that's the Sphero that I've been working on. Yeah.
Did you have to program it? So you mentioned the teacher's lounge. So did you have to go through all of that to program it so that it would go in that route on the teacher's lounge?
Like I made one to like it was kind of like it went forward, then like it went like on a bump, and then it would go forward.
Okay.
Again. So I had to make it go forward and like left, straight, right, forward again. And it took me a long time to get it perfectly like so. For a while it went like far past, and then it went like too far to the left, and too far to the right. And then one time, like, I just randomly did one and it worked, like, really well. So I showed Mr. Nardone and he was impressed. And
yeah.
That was fun. And, yeah, Sphero that I've been working on.
Very cool.
Yes.
That's very cool. Great. Thanks, Patrick.
So I am Aaron Parikh. So my current project was learning about George Washington with my friend Nathan, and I made a blog poster and a Google slide. And so when I was done with my George Washington project, so I like Lego, and there's like a Lego kit at Technology, and so I started doing this Lego thing, and like it can code, like if I tell it to go straight, it goes straight, and like I can build things out of it, like race cars and trucks and like little robots. So it works by an iPad and a Lego app. And it was like a cool dream of mine to like build Lego. So
what did you learn from that, Aaron? What did you learn from working with the Legos?
So I learned like how to code them, and like so I can make like different ideas from my like brain I can make.
So if you could build a robot to do something, some task, to make life easier for yourself, what type of robot would you build?
So I'll build like a robot that can move and like reach, like it can open and get like me some water to drink, and I don't have to like stand up and just sit on the couch.
I bet you'd sell a lot of those to other people.
So now I'll demonstrate how these guys move. And these guys like move at the same time if I want to.
Does that
And those
robot
are all
have
controlled based on the Lego app?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Does he have a
this is
name?
Lego app,
Aaron, does this robot have a name?
and
No.
We'll call him Mr. Conroy.
Okay, perfect. Looks just like him.
I made this fire truck right here.
Oh, cool.
That's really cool.
works. So I have 2 battery boxes on this, and this has 1 of it. So if I press this right here, and if I turn both of these on, they will like be like dark. And if I press on them, press on the other one, there, give a check mark. So it's over there. So there's like a motor thing right here, and if I put in it, and if I put like the thing that keeps going, and if I press this will work.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
So did you just pick what you wanted it to do by dragging those up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can make this like speak. So is this like, if I say something, is this record noise of it? And to turn on my fire truck, like I have to open this front thing right here and press the power box. So I do the same thing again. I'll press 4, and all of them will work at the same time.
Oh, cool.
That's very cool.
So Aaron, did they give you instructions on how to build the fire truck and the robot, or did you just decide what you wanted to build with the Legos? So you just did this all on your own?
Very impressive.
That's
Very impressive.
very
Cool.
impressive.
Nice work, bud.
Very cool.
So this is way faster than this because it has like 2 motors driving it.
That
This
makes
has
sense.
only like 1 of them.
Oh, got it.
This has 2. 1 on the back to move the ears, and 1 on the bottom to move the ears. So, yeah, that's it.
That's very cool. Thank you.
Very impressive.
Yeah,
Very,
it's
very
amazing what they can do.
I just wanted to end on one final note. We've seen some pretty amazing things here tonight. And we're always thinking about what's next. This year, we've had the opportunity to join a number of neighboring school communities in the first Fuse Massachusetts Fellowship Program. This is Fuse Rhode Island has been in existence since 2012, maybe. And their purpose is to identify good instructional practices, not necessarily blended learning, but a lot of it is blended learning practice. We were invited, Millis was invited to join the Massachusetts Fuse Fellowship Program, which is the first cohort of Massachusetts educators to partner with Rhode Island Fuse. Over the next year and a half, Millis will be assigning Lighthouse Classrooms in grades 4 and 5 that are really going to expand the things that you've seen here tonight and promote blended learning in a greater context. Right now we have one teacher, Mr. Nardone, who is a mentor to another district outside of Millis in helping them to establish their blended learning vision. And in return, we have 2 teachers from Medfield who share with us their best practices. So it's really a model where we learn from one another. We recognize that, we don't know everything, but if we pair up our collective knowledge, then it works out best for everybody. We know that the Lighthouse Classrooms help to give all of us good guidance and resources to drive blended learning in Millis over the next year and a half. And after school year 2019-2020, we're hoping to expand the Lighthouse Classrooms as the vision spreads to more classrooms. You know, I thought about a time that I presented, Mr. Catalano talked about Millis 2020 a while back.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, and you know, I've always kind of kept that in the forefront of my thinking, and you know, the best way to prepare our children for the future is to give them these rich experiences now, to get them thinking, to get them collaborating. So we're hoping that that the great work that's happening tonight, you know, whether it's the expansion of our personalized learning lab classrooms, the Fuse classrooms that are going to be developing, that we're going to, by the time we move into our new school, we're going to be there. So thank you. I hope you've enjoyed the work. Nice round of applause for our students.
Thanks so much, and thanks for everybody for coming tonight. It is extremely impressive to see children from the elementary school so comfortable not only with technology, but coming up in front of, you know, some adults that some people might think would be intimidating, like there's a camera over there and all of that. And you guys were all natural and wonderful, and we are extremely grateful that you came and joined us tonight. Thank you, guys. All right. So with that,
Did we miss someone?
Did we miss it?
Did we miss one?
Did we miss it?
Mr. Phelps? Did we miss a group?
Did we miss somebody?
I don't think we know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
There was other.
So Josh,
Good job.
we will start with you.
All right.
For the student update.
Two students that I got word.
The seniors' last day of school is May 18th. They still have stuff to do. For example, the senior project presentations are the week after that, May 21st to 25th. But like the official going to classes and stuff ends on the 18th. And then graduation is June 7th. Senior week is May 29th to June 1st. Then there's a middle school spelling bee tomorrow, which is April 25th. It's Julia Krause's senior project, and it's from 7 to 9. And lastly, the AP exams start on May 7th.
Excellent. Bernadette, yes, thank you.
May 18th is also a half day, and the 23rd of May, there will be in the auditorium a parent presentation. Apparently, it will start from 6:30 and go till 8 p.m. and it's on vaping. And the Karen group will be presenting. It's a substance abuse program. Prior to that, there will also be a screening of the movie Screenager. That's about adolescents and their devices, and that will occur just prior to the vaping presentation. The middle school, they are having a 5th and 6th grade dance in the cafeteria this Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. They will also have rehearsal for the middle school drama club, and it's like a dress rehearsal that will be at 7:30 p.m. And then Sunday, those same students in the drama club will be presenting or performing in a performance at Notre Dame Academy at 11:30 a.m. The high school, we just had a trip to the Netherlands and a trip to Spain and France that went over April vacation, and they both went well. The students gained a lot from their travels, and there will be a Powder Puff football game. It was rescheduled for this Thursday at 6 p.m. That's it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Busy time of year. Thank you. I know that we have kept some folks for our action items, and I am very appreciative of you guys hanging in. If you could allow us a couple of minutes just to do one thing a little bit out of order. Tonight is a very special night and a little bittersweet for all of us because one of our longstanding members, this will be her last meeting. So, Jennifer Soul, while your husband and one of your sons are here with us, we wanted to say a very heartfelt thank you for everything that you've done, from bringing your financial expertise to the team, helping us get this new school passed, and the great building that's actually going up right behind us. It's exciting to watch every day as they come pick kids up from one of the two schools. And none of that could have happened without your help and your guidance and your expertise. So we wish you all the best. Thank you for everything. And I certainly will not throw it at you, but we'll present you with your brick.
My brick.
Jennifer Soul, for your time from 2011 to 2018. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, guys.
Speech.
I'm gonna turn my microphone off. Thank you all so very much. It's been 6.5 fun years, definitely eventful. We've had a lot happen in that time frame. Won't go through them all. Lots of good and some interesting times as well. But I've learned a lot about this school district, and it's an amazing school district, amazing kids, parents, families. It's a great place to live, and I hope that people with the new school, more people come to Millis and learn about the small school, big family environment. And I'll miss all of you here at the table. Thank you. I'm not good with speeches. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so with that, I'm going to skip a little bit so we have some folks. If we can we do the consideration to approve the reduction of fees to Millis Pride Basketball Week, July 9th to 13th? Let us start there. Thanks for hanging in. We had to get those kids home to bed, so they had to go first.
That was fun to watch. Yeah, so last year you guys were gracious enough to waive the fee for the basketball camp that I do on the girls' side and the one that Paul Adams does on the boys' side. So I was just hoping you'd be gracious enough to do that again. Paul and I will continue to do our best to put money back into the school in terms of the equipment and both gyms. Continue to do things with money that we do make from the camps. So yes.
So in front of us we have the formal request. We just need a motion to approve those.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion to waive the facility rental fees for both the Millis Pride Basketball Week and the Mohawk Pride Basketball Week. Stipulation that they have to pay for custodians if there's a cost. Actually, if they're doing summer stuff and they're here, we'd have to hire extras, correct?
Yep.
So whatever extra costs are incurred because of custodial requirements, you have to pay that. Because that's money that would be above and beyond, but they can work it out to depend if there's people here to cover, but whatever that is, I'll let you work that out with the superintendent.
Okay. And I think that's consistent with what we've done in the past.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's what we do every year.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to jump up. So the consideration to approve the April 3rd school committee meeting minutes.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion to approve the April 3rd, 2018 Millis School Committee meeting minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Oh, opposed? Motion carries. All right. And then consideration to approve an out-of-state trip to Maine from May 10th to the 13th.
You better have robots in a
Sorry
canoe.
made you wait so long. Did you learn anything from those young kids? Gee, I did.
Where are the robots? If you don't have robots or a video, it's not going to happen.
You have a quiz for us?
We've never
Like a
seen
quiz?
pictures from one of your trips.
I gotta get them to bed. Honestly, I'm past my bed.
Thank you. Thanks for waiting for us.
Great. Actually, I think we should have a video this year. I think someone's coming on the trip that is providing a video.
We usually have pictures, but this year one of the students petitioned who doesn't take the class to go on it and film it.
Oh,
that's cool.
That's great.
We'll bring it next
So
year.
next year at this time?
Perfect.
We always have a film and we run it, but I never bring it here because it's a setup and all that stuff. But we can always have Ms. Mannion put it up so that.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's do that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so you guys are going north again?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Hopefully the water won't be freezing.
Since you all came and waited and were patient, would you like to talk about first of all, have any of you gone on prior years?
Yeah.
Okay,
everybody.
Can you,
Your own leaders.
because you're the leaders, so please speak to the public and school committee about the value of the trip.
Well, a lot of people, especially nowadays, don't go camping a lot. So I think there's a lot of value in learning how to not just pitch tents and stuff like that, but to manage what you want to bring and like budgeting what you're bringing with you and not taking too much, overpacking, stuff like that. So I think there's, just even in that, there's a lot of value in, I guess, traveling.
As we were saying, we're an outdoor pursuits class, so we learn like all these like survival techniques and skills that we can in return like put to use there in Maine. So it helps, definitely.
Yeah, it's
very mind-opening experience.
The whole year leads up to that
Yeah.
point where we kind of practice what we learn.
It's a really good bonding experience too. There's a lot of people on the trip that I didn't really know going in, but I left after the 4 days, like friends with everyone we went with.
I think the Frisbee kicked it off.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I brought in a light-up Frisbee, and we were playing like pretty much every night. So it was just so cool, mesmerizing.
That's great. That's great. All right. So, tonight,
Madam Chair,
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion to approve out-of-state travel for the Outdoor Pursuits Club to go to whitewater rafting in the Forks, Maine from, on the dates,
May 10th.
5/10, yeah, May 10th, 2018, returning the 13th. Is that correct? 5/10 to 5?
Oh, better
Well,
be
you
back
better
for that.
Better be nice to your mothers when you get back.
The gift is we take them away.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you do for Father's Day?
It's been moved. Can I have a second? It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Have a great
Thanks so
time.
much. Have a great trip.
Enjoy, be safe.
See ya.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you.
See you.
Thank you.
Table that?
Yes, we do. Yes. So we are going to table our last action item that we have on the agenda, and with that, we'll move to the superintendent's report.
Okay. Thank you. I'd like to ask Mr. Mullaney if you could come up to speak to your handbook revisions.
A video or a robot? Nothing.
This is the exciting part.
The bar has been
It's
raised.
exciting every time you come here.
Oh,
By
boy.
the elementary school.
You're going to be on the edge of your seats with this one.
I'm going to Kahoot.it to see what the changes are.
Will we approve? Yes or no? Or table till next month?
So these proposed handbook revisions are actually presented in order to put us in compliance with state mandates and other obligations that that came to us as a result of the coordinated program review that we had about this time last year. So the language in these proposed revisions are the language it's the language of the state laws and requirements and regulations. So I can kind of go through the highlights, and then if you have questions, I'm happy to take them. So the first,
Bob, excuse me?
yeah.
Did we update our policies and then we had to update handbooks? Because we went through.
We did do.
So were these all?
We did policies.
Are these all handbook revisions based on policy changes that we had to make because of the state?
CPR.
The CPR.
Correct.
I'm not trying to cut you off, but we
Yeah,
went through the
no.
policy.
Right,
so,
yes, I
so
remember
this,
you reading word for word
yes.
the
So
the
this
various
is
statutes,
the
yeah.
update of your handbook, and I believe we're going to do the middle school as well.
Right,
So based on
The
the policy changes that we've already approved at this committee, is that fair to say?
Yes, yes, yep. So, so specifically, the revisions, one of them involves the discipline of students with special needs, updating what's in our current handbook to make it compliant. We have also a section on discipline of students with 504 plans, on 504 plans. And then to comply with the new suspension laws passed by the state, we have updated our suspension regulations to include information about rights suspended students have to continue their education during the suspension. The harassment policy, which was something that you all approved fairly recently. We're going to include our entire bullying prevention plan so that it's accessible to everyone within the confines of the handbook. And that plan will also includes not only the specific laws, but also some resources for parents whose students may be being bullied, or whose students may be a bully. So there's what to look for and different resources included in our bullying prevention plan that will be in the handbook. And then it contains steps for reporting the instances and the alleged acts of bullying, and contains kind of a schematic on how the cases are handled and how they're investigated, etc. That's essentially, the revisions we have for the high school handbook.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion to approve the updates to the Millis Public School High School Handbook
Second.
as presented.
Second.
So moved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Should always come after the kids.
It's a tough act to follow.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
So, Mrs. Knowlton. We're actually going to suggest doing the handbook revision or handbook approval in two parts for the middle school. The middle school handbook, all except pages 23 and 24, where the policy subcommittee needs to meet to revise our retention policy. And other than that, I'll let Mrs. Knowlton speak to, so you have really two handouts in your packets. One on the proposed revisions that are similar to Mr. Mulaney's, and then a second that we'll address in a future meeting.
So no rub butts, and all I have to say is the middle school better get ready for those Clyde Brown students to come up.
Yeah.
That was impressive. Our revisions to the handbook at this time are exactly identical to Mr. Mulaney's for the high school, based on the recommendations from the Department of Education, the Coordinated Program Review. So similar to his, the discipline of students with special needs and 504 plans, the statement of responsibility to educate during suspension. We needed to include gender identity and housing status as protected classes in the statements of non-tolerance, and then including the entire bullying plan in our handbook, which was not previously included.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Catalano.
I make a motion to approve the revisions as presented to the Millis Middle School Handbook.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Madam Chair, if I
Oh,
may,
yes.
before Mrs.
Yeah.
Knowlton leaves, I made a copy for school committee of what Mrs. Knowlton wrote and handed out to every child who took MCAS today, and for 7th and 8th grade previously, or?
Yep,
Yeah.
7th and 8th grade before vacation.
Because it was so powerful. And I was, I don't know if we want to read it on camera, because I made a copy because when I read it, I choked up. It captures so beautifully the philosophy of the Millis Public Schools, and in particular the middle school. So somebody else might want to read it on camera, but I'm afraid I'll get choked up.
I'm happy to read it, and I didn't know this only because I didn't have a chance to speak with her, but I will certainly be asking my daughter, who was one of the ones that took the MCAS, along with some other folks around the table with their kids
Yeah, you
as well.
took it before.
So thank you for doing this. What it says is, Dear middle school scholars, today you'll take the MCAS. Most of you have not taken this as a computer-based test before. Some of you might be really nervous, and some of you might not really care. This test is supposed to give you an opportunity to show what you've learned, but you have not been in school since September to prepare for this test. Here's what I want you to know. You've been in school to learn to collaborate and work within a community to solve problems. You've been in school to learn how to communicate and get along with others in a peaceful way. You've been in school to learn to appreciate and accept diversity in yourself and others. You've been in school to learn to respect that there are different opinions and perspectives and points of view from your own. You've been in school to learn how to be creative and innovative and direct your own learning. You've been in school to learn to persevere and build on your strengths to overcome your challenges. The results of these tests will not show everything you have learned, so before you sign in or pick up your pencil, take a minute to think of how much you've grown since September. You are more than a test score or a grade on your report card. You are the kind person who helps others and doesn't let anyone sit alone at lunch. You are the thoughtful person who leaves uplifting notes on lockers. You are the friendly person who smiles and says hello in the hallway. You are the one who stands up for people who are being put down by others. You are the one who goes above and beyond to learn as much as you can. You are the one who makes people laugh, or likes to build things, or likes to run, or draw, or act, or code. The tests matter because your teachers have worked hard to make sure you have the skills necessary to think critically about what you read, to express your thoughts, and to use mathematical and scientific thinking. Take a breath and give it 100% effective effort, because that's what you do every day. Then keep on showing what you have really learned and how you act at home, in school, and in the community every day. Remember, you have learned so much more than can ever be tested and represented in a score, and you matter more. Mrs. Knowlton. So,
Thank you.
Very good.
thank you, Maureen.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. That's fantastic.
Okay, so with that,
You almost made it through that.
I'm like the worst person that should have read that.
those
Emotional. It is,
Very good.
I do have to say, it reminds me of the day before that school started and kind of the sentiment in the building when the teachers were getting back together in preparation for the students arriving, and really kind of the care and kindness and general just concern for the well-being of the students in the building. I happened to see a teacher's room, a sixth grade teacher, her door. This reminds me quite a bit, those same sentiments. It's really about the individual and the person. So you set a great example for the students, for the teachers, and for the community. So thank you.
I think it's one more way that, you build culture, and that culture is probably the most important aspect of school, and then the learning can happen much better when that kind of culture is in evidence. So thank you. I also shared in your packet with you the Millis High School profile, which is a 4-page synopsis that is sent to all colleges with all applications. And when after Mark Ondicki and
Riley.
going to forget her married name.
Oh, Don.
Yeah. So Riley Lunn? Dunn. Riley Dunn was Riley Stevens, and Melanie Steves presented about what our guidance department does. I thought this would be of interest to the committee, and I believe it's on our website. We'll make sure it is. And we've been working on celebrating what is happening in the schools, because it's quite impressive, and hopefully that came through at the grade 8 step-up night. We call it grade 8 step-up to as an introduction to the high school, but it really is an evening that any middle school parents or any parents can come and learn about what's happening in the high school, because it is impressive and there are myriad opportunities. So hopefully each year we get better at showcasing those things. Some of you attended that evening, did you not?
Yeah, I was there.
I was
there. It was good. There was actually more students there than I expected would be there. It was a good attendance, but I wish there were more parents who went. And I think this fourth page with lists all of the programs or all the courses that are offered at the high school is actually a really important one. And as I said when Mark and Riley were here, I actually think that this is something that we should distribute throughout the middle school and do it earlier in the year. I think that this is something that, as people, as we've said, there's a group of, historically there are a group of students who entering 7th grade and then entering 9th grade explore whether they want to be in Millis or whether they want to go somewhere else. And I don't think that as a district and as a school we do a good enough job explaining or showing exactly what is offered and how much actual opportunity exists in Millis. And I think it would be good, whether it's step-up night or not, but doing something that showcases that and explains it earlier in the fall, because I know application process and exploring other schools actually takes place end of fall, January, February timeframe, with decisions having to be made. Literally, there are some schools, when we had step-up night, decision for going to certain schools was like 2 days later. And so just kind of, and again, there's a number of ways or reasons, and people need to explore. I think looking at a 50-page handbook or a 50-page course curriculum is a daunting task, but if put in a format that people can at least see and compare, is a helpful exercise for people.
Okay, thank you. April enrollment, overall we are up by 2 students. We also have 3 more choice students, identified 3 more choice students, a family that moved and did not realize that they needed to alert us and to the fact that they are not now choicing into Millis. And I think still families out there need to understand that when you are a Millis student, if the family moves out of Millis, that we allow you to retain your enrollment, and you just need to let us know of your address change. And it's beneficial to the district because when you are a choice student, the district gets additional revenue for that. So we keep repeating that. If you move out of Millis, you are still allowed to attend school here. And just let us know of your address change. And we're happy to accommodate that, and it helps us with gaining additional revenue. So we are now at 1,299 students for in April, with 95 choice students. And then the last thing, Mrs. Lindgren mentioned our trip to Holland with students. The students' behavior was stellar. Very wonderful group of students. I didn't hear one word of complaint the whole time. We rode bikes everywhere. I was fortunate to be a chaperone. And so riding a half an hour to school from where I was staying, and riding a half an hour home certainly is good for mind, body, and spirit. And Dutch children are considered in a UNICEF study to be the happiest in the world, and have great health care across the board. And I think riding their bikes every day to school really might be a part of that. We learned a lot about the Dutch system. I happened to pick up a book that I've been reading, The Dutch Way in Education, that is basically realizing that they are working on the same things that we are. Project-based learning, how to make things more real-world relevant, and how to engage students in more creativity, innovation, and application of knowledge, not just learning the knowledge or skills. The one thing that Finland and Holland and many European countries do a lot better is they have more equity across the board because they are social democracies that address poverty. And that is the one thing that in the United States we still have 1 in 5 children, 20% living in poverty, and that has an effect. And these educational systems have addressed that, not just educationally, but government-wise. They've addressed poverty so that there's equity. Everybody gets the same quality of education, same quality of health care, etc., and social support. So it was a great experience, and we're looking. Our students go there in the fall. Their students come to us in the fall, and we have host families. We'll be looking for more host families next fall, and then the students of those host families travel and stay with the families in Holland. So it's a deep learning of the culture by staying with the family all week, and they do take excursions and have a great time. It is different, and I think very valuable, and it's not a tourist approach to seeing various sites, which has value also, but this is a deep understanding of the culture. We learned, we had lessons in Dutch. We learned all about World War II history. In local history, we learned about the geography, and we went to The Hague and had a meeting with one of the senators and learned about government, and it was just fascinating. So I recommend it, and we'll be searching for more host families next year.
Excellent. As we move to the chairman's report, I think we're going to defer this to a future meeting, the discussion about the town finance director job description. So we're having some conversations with that, but we will move that out. Subcommittee reports. Elementary School Building Committee. So there's been quite a lot of work that's happening. I'm amazed at how the moving of dirt very quickly turns into steel that is up, and there's the roof lines of the cafeteria that you can actually see now from the Clyde Brown side. So everything is still on track. It's moving along. There are excellent posts on and additions to the town website, on Facebook, about the every 2-week look-aheads, what they call them. So one of the members of the ESBC is responsible for posting those every 2 weeks. They get information from the construction team, and they put those out there. So if you're looking for details of what's up and coming, I would direct you to the Town of Millis website, and also if you're on Facebook, there's a Millis School project page that has that information as well. But you can really start to see it come alive and develop. So exciting things there. I think that's it. Correspondence?
I included in your packets the Millis Medway news articles. We have this Saturday coming up, Millis Beautification Day. There's a good article on our new library director, whom we welcome, Kim Tolson, the public library. Millis volleyball, boys volleyball, they had a game tonight. They won game 2. I'm not sure how game 3 went, but there's a nice article on that. The co-op of lacrosse with Bellingham. We have some students who are joining the Bellingham Millis co-op for lacrosse, which is a new sport and a new opportunity. Merit grants. We're always so grateful to the Merit grant, the Merit Foundation organization, and the funding that they do for very innovative projects. I'm not positive, but I believe the Spherobot that you saw tonight was funded by Merit, and probably the robotics kits as well. They really do a wonderful job for us. And then another great article on Allie Smith, who was captain of the Millis Medway Ashland girls hockey team.
Excellent. That's great. School committee announcements. Conroy?
I don't have any other than to say thank you to Jen. Not only is it from these 6 years here, but another 2 or 3 on the finance committee, and then she thankfully agreed and took the bait to come over.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Jen, you are a friend and a colleague, and you've done really, really hard work on this committee, and I'm proud to have served with you. I wish you were still serving, but we all have to leave at some point. But I will echo Denise's statements that without you, we would have never gotten the feasibility study done. And without you, we would have never gotten to the school to be to the point where you can see steel. I know it became a team, but initially it was a very small crew who worked very hard and went to Jasper's Cafe or Pajamas Cafe or whatever the place is. Pajama Joe. And drank Diet Coke and planned out plans, and we went and delivered. So I'm proud to have worked side by side, and I appreciate the guidance and counsel you have given me over the years here. And we all have our little pet projects. Mine will still be sped vans. Someone will have to take up the bathroom mantle, but
Well, you guys are chipping away at that.
I literally was going to bring cleaner, but I thought you were going to do this morning. I'm like, that may not go well, but you would have appreciated and understood that where it was coming from. So someone will have to take on the bathrooms because I'm still going to be the van guy. So thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I mean, you guys are all great. I mean, the school's in great hands, and I understand that our candidate that will likely be elected, since she doesn't have anybody running against her on Monday, she will be wonderful as well. We've had a chance to meet her and get to know her a bit, and has an educational background. It sounds like she'll be a great fit for the committee, great addition. So.
You'll be missed.
I'll
Madam
miss you all
Chair,
as
I'd like
well.
to echo the sentiments. It has been an extreme pleasure to work with you.
Thank you.
I appreciate all you've done. Everybody has said how much hard work you put into it, but always with such wisdom and insight, and really just highly ethical, and it's been wonderful. I wish we could encourage you to stay on longer, but I appreciate the years you've given and
Thank
all your hard work. Thank you.
Here, here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you once again.
I'm still around, you know. if you
Nope.
ever need
Oh,
it.
don't you know?
Please delete our
we
phone
know
numbers.
that.
Something off,
Please
something
delete our
off.
phone numbers from your phone. It was, if you see each other at Roach Brothers,
just turn the
literally
other
just, this is it. Enjoy this moment because it is done.
We're never talking again.
Don't drive on my street, I won't drive on your
That
street.
might be your parting gift. And with that.
You make the motion.
Motion to adjourn.
This is your
yes,
motion.
Please, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Goodbye, Jen.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.